Welcome to Backstage with hashtag RDM. I'm hashtag RDM Russell Devin McLean, and I want to thank you so much for listening to the show on iTunes, Stitcher Radio, SoundCloud, or our official website, RadioRandomNetwork.com. And as always, I want to send a huge shout out to all of you who tunes in to the show every Tuesday, and I want to send a huge shout out to those of you who are tuning in for the very first time. I hope you enjoy the show. Just a friendly reminder that we are a fan-supported and listener-supported show, and if you would like to help keep our weekly shows free, all you have to do is leave a rating and review for us on iTunes and Stitcher Radio, or visit RadioRandomNetwork.com and click on the support tab. Got a great show for you today. I'm going to be joined by American music icon Ronnie McDowell, who's here to talk about his brand new autobiography, bringing it to you personally. And then I'm going to be talking to up-and-coming indie recording artist Madelyn Victoria. She's going to be here talking about all the great things that she's doing as well. With all of that said, got a great show for you. I hope you enjoy it. Let's pay a bill. And when we come back, I'm going to be talking with Mr. Ronnie McDowell. Don't go nowhere. Hey, before we kick off today's show, I want to tell you all about our friends at Amazon. And I want to remind you that when you do your online shopping at Amazon using our links at RadioRandomNetwork.com/Amazon, they kick a couple bucks back to us at no extra cost to you. That helps keep our weekly shows free for everyone to enjoy. So next time you do your online shopping at Amazon, use our link, RadioRandomNetwork.com/Amazon.
This is Radio Random Network. Find us on the web at www.radiorandomnetwork.com. If you enjoyed this episode, please leave us a review on iTunes.
You're backstage with hashtag RDM on Radio Random Network. Now here's the host, hashtag RDM Russell Devin McLean.
All right, just a friendly reminder that all links talked about on today's show can be found in the show notes at RadioRandomNetwork.com. As I said earlier, I have a great show today. I'm going to be talking with Ronnie McDowell. He's going to be here talking about his new autobiography, bringing it to you personally. And I'm also going to be talking to up-and-coming indie recording artist Madelyn Victoria. She's here as well to be talking about all the great things she has going on. I'll be talking to them. But first, I want to remind you about some upcoming events. On March 16th, 17th, and 18th, 2016, we have the Texas Indie Music Fest. It's going to be in Austin, Texas, at the Red Shed Tavern in Austin, Texas, with 20 to 30 of the best indie musicians from across the United States and the world. It's an electric and acoustic 3-day music festival featuring the best independent artists in the USA, hell, and the world. The festival is merging with the Revolution Tour, and the tour and fest are being filmed for part of a documentary and a movie. So be there and be a part of history on March 16th, 17th, and 18th, 2016. Austin, Texas, for the Texas Indie Music Fest. We're going to have a special guest in the next couple of weeks that's going to be on here by the name of Jimmy Wilden. He and his band is going to be there. That's a LadyLake artist, by the way. We're going to be talking to him about all of his projects and albums and everything. And in case you're wondering what kind of genres the Texas Indie Music Fest is going to be featuring, they're going to have rock, alternative rock, acoustic, soul, R&B, rap, hip-hop, reggae, just about anything you can imagine, even country and blues. So be sure and check that out. And by the way, you can just go to www.facebook.com/Texas Indie Fest to find out all the info. Go ahead and like the page while you're there to keep up with all information about the Texas Indie Music Fest. With all of that said, guys, if you have a upcoming event that you would like for us to share here on the Radio Random Network's Backstage with hashtag RDM, all you have to do is drop us a line, sales@RadioRandomNetwork.com. All right. I just want to remind you as well, you still have time to sign up for our monthly giveaway this month. We are giving away an autographed copy of Ronnie McDowell's brand new autobiography, bringing it to you personally. And I just want to let you know it's a great book. Ronnie goes into detail about his life from the time he was a little boy all the way up to now. So it's a great book. Be sure and check it out. It's time now. Let's go ahead and talk to Ronnie, see what he has to say about the book and what he has going on. Let's get to the interview with Mr. Ronnie McDowell. All right, joining me here on Backstage with hashtag RDM on the Radio Random Network. He's a good friend of mine, the American music icon, Mr. Ronnie McDowell. Ronnie, how you doing today, friend?
Well, you're so kind. I appreciate those kind words, and I'm doing unbelievably well up here in Nashville, Tennessee.
How's the weather today in Nashville?
The weather is not very pleasant. The weekend is supposed to be very nice, but right now it's cold, cloudy, dreary, and not my kind of weather. I'm a spring and summer guy.
I agree with you on that. I like the spring and the summer myself. But with all that said, Ronnie, you are a recording artist. You're a great entertainer, and now to add to the list, you're an author, a brand new autobiography.
I know it, and I couldn't even spell that 6 months ago.
You got the brand new autobiography out, bringing it to you personally, Ronnie McDowell, with Mr. Scott England. Ronnie, what inspired you to put this out now?
Well, my friend Scott approached me about doing a book, an autobiography of my life, and he convinced me to do it. I wasn't really ready to do it. He convinced me. We sat down last year about this time. We started on it, and we would do 2 and 3 and 4 hour sessions. And the more I got into it, the more I enjoyed it. And now I realize that it was the appropriate time and that I should have done it. And I did. I'm so glad I did. It's a beautiful book. It's very positive. No negativity, no drama. Just stories about my life with Conway Twitty and Elvis Presley and Michael Jackson and Jerry Lee Lewis and you name it. And my band, the Kentucky Headhunters, and the list goes on and on. Starts when I was just a baby and goes all the way through my life until right now I'm talking to you. And it's in my own words, and I'm just like I'm talking to you.
I had a chance to actually read the book not too long ago, and I want to tell you, man, I really enjoyed it, first and foremost. Secondly, one thing that really caught my eye was, you shared the stories of being a man that's not afraid to shop at the Goodwill.
Well, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to be honest with you. Pretty much everything I wear, I get at Goodwill.
And you're such a spiffy dresser. That's the thing. I mean, you.
Well, but you know what? You can dress spiffy with Goodwill.
Yeah, you're right. With all of that said, we'll talk a little bit more about the book in a few minutes. Do you have any new albums or anything you're working on?
I do. I have a new album out right now. It's called I'm Gonna Dance with the Ones That Brought Me, and it's songs from 59 to 62 that I loved, and I wrote about 6 of them. The rest of them are songs that all sound like that. And that's the time period of music that I just dearly love. And, it was so beautiful in its simplicity. And the more simple we are, I think the better off we are. That's what I have always told my children. If you keep your life simple, you will be happy.
That album, you actually feature a cappella band on there with you called The Blend.
I do, and I got to tell you, Blend did all the backgrounds on the songs. They just do a great job. Johnny Cash's bass player is on the album. And my son is the drummer. It's just a combination of a lot of wonderful people. Ray Walker of the Jordanaires. Yeah, and I tell all this in my new book that people can get on Amazon, or they can order the book at RonnieMcDowellBook.com, and all these stories, even about my new album I'm telling in the book, from the time I started, the songs that I started with, until just recently, the new project.
We caught you in Crowley with a Blend, and in the band with you had Tommy Cash and Deborah Allen and all your friends with Nothing But the Hits tour. It was great entertainers. But one more thing I wanted to ask you about in the book, you talked a little bit, you touched on it with, you talked a little bit about hanging out with Jerry Lee Lewis and Hank Williams Jr.
Right.
And one story you talked about was was Jerry Lee going to the Graceland with the gun.
Yeah, Jerry Lee, I asked him why he did that. I mean, I literally, because I always wanted to know, I said, Jerry Lee, what were you doing crashing through the gates of Graceland with a gun on in your car? I said, what were you doing? And he said, I was going to shoot him. And I said, you talking about Elvis? And he said, yeah, I was going to shoot him. And I said, for what? He said, because I was tired of being number 2 killer. And He's ready, ain't he?
Yes, he is. Yes, he is. Well, and then the first time you met him, he asked you if you were a Baptist, correct?
He did, buddy. He put his index finger on my nose and said, "Are you a Baptist boy?" Well, I was scared to death. Can you imagine meeting Jerry Lee Lewis for the first time and you're 26 years old, and he put his finger on the end of my nose and he said, "Are you a Baptist boy?" And I said, "Yes, sir." And he said, "Well, them Baptists ain't worth a damn."
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Well, Ronnie, I know we're kind of pressed for time here, but with all of that said, any upcoming tours we can look forward to?
We're just all over the place, and whenever we come in the area, please come and see us. And once again, the book is been out just about a month, and they can get it on Amazon or RonnieMcDowellBook.com. And the story of my life after one of my songs, Ronnie McDowell bringing it to you personally.
That's it. And Ronnie, also real quick, I want to thank you. We got to catch the show in Crowley, like I said, with you, Danny Raspberry, and all your friends, Deborah Allen. And one thing I can say is, if you go to a Ronnie McDowell concert or anything that you're involved with, it's a hell of an experience. Now,
I try to make it that way. I try to make it and entertain people, and not just stand up there and sing 15 of my records and say thank you in between. To me, that's people can stay at home and listen to my records. If they're going to do that, I'd rather entertain people, make them laugh, make them sing, make them just have a good time, make them clap. And when they leave there, they go, I don't know about that old boy, but I had a good time.
Yes, indeed. Well, you actually made me a hometown celebrity, so to speak. You and I, you get the crowd involved, and you actually come out of the crowd, and you and I did a rendition of former Louisiana Governor Jimmy Davis's "You Are My Sunshine."
Oh yeah. Yeah.
When that thing hit YouTube, man, I blew up. I mean, I almost felt like Elvis.
Well, good. Well, I'm glad you.
Yeah, well, I appreciate that. But with all that said, always fun to talk to Ronnie McDowell. Ronnie, with all that said, thank you so much for calling in and joining me today, friend. And,
all right, pal. You take care of yourself and come see me.
I will, Ronnie. Thank you so much for calling in, and we'll talk to you later on down the road.
See you, buddy. Bye-bye.
All right. Always great to talk with Mr. Ronnie McDowell. You can find out more about Ronnie by going to RonnieMcDowell.com, or you could pick up your copy of Ronnie McDowell, bringing it to you personally, by going to RonnieMcDowellBook.com. And you can also pick it up at Amazon, Barnes & Noble. I'm sure Books A Million has it. You can find those links in the show description. What we're going to do right now is we're going to pay us a bill. And when we come back, I'm going to be talking with up-and-coming recording artist Madelyn Victoria. So stay where you at. We'll be right back.
Sign up for the newsletter so you never miss an update.
All right, my next guest here on Backstage with hashtag RDM on the Radio Random Network. She's doing a lot of great things. She's a very talented young vocalist and songwriter from deep south in the heart of Texas. I'm talking to none other than Miss Madelyn Victoria. How you doing today, Madelyn?
Hi, I'm doing good. How are you?
Doing great. So before we get everything started here today, I just want to know what's been happening with you.
Oh, just so many different things, playing a lot of different shows here in Texas. We just finished up doing a rodeo with Aaron Watson, and before that I had a show with Eli Young Band, and doing little shows of my own, and getting ready and to hit the road really soon. Go up other places in Texas, and also getting ready for Nashville for CMA Fest and performing out there, getting ready to record, just always preparing for the next step.
Yes, indeed. Now, how long? Just for our listeners out there, but how long have you been actually involved with the music scene in Texas?
I've been singing since I was 5 years old, a long time. Singing the national anthem, different little talent shows. I was also part of my church, singing in the choir, of course, and just doing all that on my own, and also going different places, singing like a solo artist. And then when my senior year of high school is when I really got to get my band together, and a bunch of my friends, and told them let's start doing this seriously. And so it all started with the band. And a little before that as well, I was started songwriting when I was 13, and really got my first song together when I was 15 years old. So, been doing it a while, and it just keeps on getting bigger and bigger, and I'm excited for more to come.
Yes, indeed. Now you've been doing the local scene in Texas. You've been doing the honky tonks, the bars, and the other events and everything, like you said. But you've actually you shared the stage with a lot of big names such as Eastern Corbin, Tracy Lawrence, and Clay Walker, and such. But with that said, was music something that was always a part of your household when you was growing up?
Yes, I always surrounded by, that's what I like to say, my biggest influence are my family. My mom's side of the family, all my cousins and uncles are just so talented, and whenever we'd get together, and I was just a young girl, and I would see them playing the guitars and even the accordion and just so many different instruments, the piano, keyboard, whatever it was that they were doing at the time, I would just, was just drawn to it, and always wanted to be around them. And they're all great singers as well. One of my uncles is a great songwriter, and none of them really did anything professional with their talents. And I feel like, I'm doing this for them, and I really want us to get out there. And I'm I just can't wait for the day where I could just be in a recording studio, be my own recording studio, and just fly, whoever out there, one of my family members, and we jam out, we songwrite, and I want to be able to do that. But yeah, I've been involved. My music in my family's always been there. It's in my blood, and like you said, opening up for those big names is just really giving me so much experience, and being on this level of my career and having that under my belt, and the experience is what really matters, and how many times you go on that stage and how comfortable you feel up there. So all that together just really, really helps.
Yes, indeed. Now, let's talk a little bit about your latest album, which is titled Madelyn Victoria. But with that said, your brand new single, it's out on iTunes and country radio right now, called He Only Loves Me on a Dance Floor. Give us a little insight behind that song.
Yeah, I wrote this song about, I started writing it about 5 years ago, and it really just influenced, like you said earlier, I go out all the time singing at honky tonks, but I also love to go dancing. Love to go dancing at the honky tonks and dance halls here in Texas, and just going to different ones, and that's where the influence really started. And it's just a relationship between a guy and a girl, whatever, and you see them, and either you know them and you shouldn't be dancing with them, but you just can't help it just because you're drawn to that person, or you meet them for the first time and you're just dancing all night and never speak again. However anybody wants to take their story and relate to that. I've been hearing a lot of different stories, and people have been telling me about how they relate to my song, and that's really, really awesome, and why I wrote it. Everyone has their own story, and they can relate it to my own, and I'm really glad that people are starting to like it. And I made sure that it had that dance hall feel, something that they can two-step to, or even listen to. And I know it's more like a ballad, but something also that I want people to get pumped up for the weekend, and like, yeah, it's Friday night and I'm looking for a good time, and I'm glad a lot of people are liking it.
Yes, indeed. Now, with all of that said, let's look into the future, so to speak. I mean, you're talking about you're putting together a tour, correct?
Yes, we're working on that right now. Different places around the U.S. It's right now I do all of my own booking, and along with, of course, Michael Stover helping me a lot, and just some other people that we're getting on board. And that's the goal. The more shows, the better. The more people I get to meet and introduce my music to, the better. I'm also going to put in a radio tour in there somewhere, either to promote this single that I still have out there, or a new one to follow up, and then we're going to start recording again in the summertime. But yeah, those are all my goals.
That's awesome. Now, what do you see to yourself in 2 years?
In 2 years, I definitely see myself touring all over the world. I'm pretty close to also, I have a lot of faith, and I won't ever give up. So if I'm, I have the faith that I'll start selling out shows eventually as well all over the U.S. So that's where I see myself, and just gaining more fans, and just a lot, just throughout the years, I always thought, and I look back like, 2 years from now, and I think, wow, I've really progressed, and as long as you don't give up, and as long as you continue, and I'll continue in the next 2 years, and I know it'll be a lot bigger. But shows and touring and all that mean the most to me, so I expect to be doing that a lot more.
Yes, indeed. Now, you're from Texas. You grew up in Texas, but and you were talking about going to Nashville and doing the CMA Fest and everything this year. But I'm going to share a little something with you, actually. There's a lot of people that I talk to, and I mean, just about every day I'm talking to some a musician or indie up-and-coming or do-it-yourself recording artist from all over the world. A lot of them want to get in the Austin, Texas scene versus the Nashville scene. Now, you're trying to get to the Nashville scene, but can you give a little insight on what the big deal is over there with the Austin scene?
And the Austin scene, yeah, for sure. I mean, now, I really don't see it like as if I'm going to, try to, I want to get it all. I want to be in Nashville. I want to be in Austin. I want to be everywhere. And, if there's somebody that's going to listen to my music or somebody that's going to see me and like what I do, then, it could be anywhere, and I just want to be everywhere. And in Austin, it is really amazing. The venue owners, the appreciation. I mean, you can hear so much different styles of music coming within Austin. Not just, of course, it's not just country. There's rock. There's so many different things, and it's really, really becoming, a little competition. Of course, it has been growing with Nashville, Music City, and I want to do both. I want to get out there to Nashville. I've been, inching my way up to Austin as well. I was just in Austin this past week for the Metropolitan Awards. I don't know if you're familiar or heard of that, where it was put together by Dale Watson and hosted by Ray Benson. And this is more of a instead of the Americana scene, Metropolitan, they do the honky tonk, the outlaw, the rockabilly, and also Western swing, and they recognize a lot of these artists who have been working hard in those categories and meeting so many different people. They had celebrities there, Johnny Knoxville. They had so just being surrounded in that in around the atmosphere in Austin and there at the award show, and it's just amazing and inspiration everywhere. Just as much for me, as Nashville. Like Nashville's always been a dream, and everyone, Grand Ole Opry and all those great places that I want to be performing really soon. But Texas and Austin and is just as important to me, and it's my home,
Yes, indeed. Real quick, as we wind down, Madelyn, what is some advice you can share to any up and coming recording artists that maybe want to follow in your footsteps?
Yeah, for sure. It's going to be hard, just like anything else. People say, I hear my friends complaining about college and studying and this and that. I'm like, well, this is what you want to do. So if this is really what you want to do and go this path, it's going to be hard, but you got to keep on going because you can never beat the one who never gives up. So you gotta never give up. That's my biggest, the quote that I always use. And also, before you give up, you never know when you're 3 feet from gold. So you just got to keep on going. So, get out there. Don't be afraid to talk to venue owners. Don't be afraid to get yourself out there no matter what. And it's gonna be a crazy ride, but you gotta love it.
Yes, indeed. For more information, you can go to MadelynVictoriaMusic.com. You can also find her on Twitter. And also you can pick up the new single that is out now, He Only Loves Me on the Dance Floor. It's available now on radio, iTunes, and all major streaming outlets. And with all that said, I want to thank you so much for joining me today. It's been an honor and a pleasure to talk with you. And
thank you, Russell. I appreciate it.
Yes, indeed. And I hope to talk to you again real soon. And before we go, a while ago you said something about Ray Benson. Now, you have a huge list of artists that you've worked with. Have you ever had a chance to actually work with Ray Benson?
No, not yet, but I'm so close to it. I'm so close. I'll be performing at Del Watson's bar in a couple of weeks, and Del Watson and Ray Benson are real close. So, getting in there and getting to know Dale would be awesome, and then also Ray, and that's one of the goals. It's Ray Benson. I know he's close to George Strait, and those are the guys I want to be surrounded by.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, those guys, they're making good grocery money these days, I'm pretty sure. So I mean, there's nothing wrong with hanging out with them at all. But Madelyn, I want to thank you so much one more time for calling in today and joining me, and I look forward to talking to you again in the future, and maybe we'll run each other in at CMA Fest.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much for calling in, and that's our time for the day. Always great to talk with an up-and-coming recording artist about what they have going on. Madelyn, we wish you the best, and we hope to talk to you again soon. And for more information about Madelyn, you can just visit the show notes and find all links leading to her music on Amazon or her website, MadelynVictoria.com. I'm sure all of her music as well. Before we wrap up, we got the Modern Family Spotlight, and this week I'm shedding a light on one of my favorite shows to listen to when it comes to podcasts. It's a great show. I want you to check out Classy Little Podcast.
Hey, welcome to the Classy Little Podcast promo.
We're your hosts. I'm Emily.
And I'm James.
What wine are we drinking this week?
It's just a promo, so I thought we didn't have to drink a bottle of wine.
Well, let's open a bottle just in case.
Okay. Did you bring a cheese to accompany it, too?
What cheese pairs well with a promo? Provolone? Parmesan? Pro mozzarella?
Oh, goodness. Well, as you might have guessed, every week we have wine and cheese on our show.
And we pick a different topic for each episode. We find out interesting and quirky aspects of it, including the history, the etiquette,
The controversies and injustices surrounding them.
Okay, we know, James. Everything is terrible. How would you describe it?
It's fun and informative, but not too informative or didactic.
Yeah, but we don't use words like didactic.
No, never. Anyway, you can find us at classylittlepodcast.com.
Or on your podcatcher of choice every Wine Wednesday.
Cheers!
Cheers!
You can find out more information about the Classy Little Podcast at www.classylittlepodcast.com. That's it for this week's show. Join me next Tuesday, same place, same time, right here, RadioRandomNetwork.com's Backstage with hashtag RDM. Well, I'm going to be talking to some guests from somewhere around the music world, getting insight on all of their up-and-coming projects. Don't forget to rate and review our show, Backstage with hashtag RDM, on iTunes and Stitcher Radio. If you would like to follow us on Twitter, that's at Backstage_RDM. Also on Facebook as well. You can find all that information out at RadioRandomNetwork.com. I am Russell Devin McLean, also known as hashtag RDM. We will see you Friday for the return of the Russell and Mudtooth Show. Thank you so much for listening this week. We hoped you enjoyed it. Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for listening. And thanks for enjoying. I'm hashtag RDM, and we'll talk to you next week.
Tune in every Tuesday at 7:05 p.m. Central Standard Time for a show created for musicians and music lovers alike. Backstage with hashtag RDM. For more information about the hosts, guests, or our other weekly programs, visit RadioRandomNetwork.com.
Thanks for listening.